I'm excited today to have Julie Faifan Bowser with us and to show us just some of her really fun, artistic, just ways that she uses scan and cut. Now, Julie, you're one of my favorites. I love just your art and your creativity, and I'm looking at this doll that you're going to show us how to make today. Now, you call it a monster doll. I think he's quite adorable, and you're telling me that you made this out of paint cloths?
Yeah, you know, in my studio, I always have a ton of paint rags that I'm cleaning up messes with, all kinds of stuff. And you can see I have a bunch of them just laying out here. And I like to use them in my art in some ways. So I made this fantastic little monster doll. I think he's kind of cute, even though he's kind of ugly at the same time, right?
I agree.
And it's all based on this hand-drawn pattern that I did on a piece of paper. And I just simply scanned it into the machine. And you can see here that on my mat, what I have done is I've taken a paint rag, I've ironed some freezer paper onto it to stabilize it, and I've put it fabric side down, freezer side paper up.
What a great tip.
It's really easy, and all I'm going to do now is into the machine, I'm going to choose pattern, and I'm going to do test, because I find when cutting fabric, I'm not always sure how deep to set the blade. So I'm going to choose a little square, I'm going to say set, and then the thing is I don't know how to cut it, so I'm going to scan in what's on the mat. So I'm just going to hit start, and I love that I can use scraps of fabric, that I can use scraps of paper, and I don't have to worry too much that I'm going to cut the mat or go off or anything like that.
I do find that scan and cut is very user-friendly. Having all of these features that work really well together make it to where you don't waste. And like you said, you can just use little scraps if you have those.
Agreed. And you can see here, you know, that white on white, it didn't matter. It scanned right in. I dragged that test cut right on it. I have my fabric blade set to a 3. And I'm going to go ahead now and say, okay. And I want to go ahead and cut. And let's just get that started. And we'll see. If it's too deep, then we'll know to adjust if it's not cutting enough. And Liz, would you mind seeing how that cut looks?
I would love it. Would you hand me the spatula?
Yeah, absolutely. Here you go. And you know, the thing is, I often test cut things multiple times, and I just don't worry too much about that. What do you think? Do we need to go deeper?
I'd say maybe one step deeper. And I love that the test function just is this little square. Yes. It's not going to mess me up.
Totally unobtrusive. So now I'm just taking the blade, right, and I'm turning it to a 4.
Perfect.
And I vote that we do another test cut, just like you said.
I agree.
Because why not? So I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to drag it slightly over. I'm going to hit OK. Once again, cut, and then start. And then we'll see if we did the right thing or not.
I think we did.
Okay. You know, the thing about crafting with a friend, too, is that 2 hands are always easier than one.
Always better than one.
and cut out perfectly.
Yeah, I think that actually worked really well and gives it a nice, nice clean edge to work with.
Agreed. So I'm going into the saved data now. And I earlier, as I told you, scanned in my pattern, and I can find it right in here. There's my monster man. And look, it's too big to fit onto that piece of fabric I have. So all I'm going to simply do is I'm going to resize it. And that's easy enough to do.
Isn't that great that you can take your own artwork once it's scanned in and make it as big or as little as you like?
I love that. And then you can drag it so that it fits exactly. You can fussy cut it. I cannot have to worry too much about it. It's right there. I'm going to hit OK, and I'm going to hit OK again, and then cut. And you know, while this is cutting, I want to tell you a secret about this project. So, because if you look at the little sample that you have, you're sewing it onto batting to add all that nice stitching. You need to cut the front side slightly larger than the back side. So you're going to cut 2 pattern pieces that are slightly different sizes, and that's going to make all the difference.
It's just gorgeous. His little flowers and his cute little teeth, his little flourish. It's beautiful. Did you use a free-form foot for this?
I did. I just used a free motion foot, and one of the great and easy things about it is that, you know, here you go. There's your pattern piece all cut out and ready to go.
That's amazing. And I love, again, that you've got to use your own pattern, your own artwork, and you're able to make this monster doll that's actually quite cute.
Yes, just the way you want.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Julie, for joining us today.